Hey man, where's the honey at? Sup guys, back again on the camera. Today's video, guys, what is today's video about? It is something a little bit different. Something that I suppose spoke about for a little while, so people are curious on what the hell's going on in my life. Obviously, a lot has been going into the focus, I suppose, on the Marines, onto diet for the holiday, the shredding, all that sort of good stuff. Obviously, supplements and that sort of stuff. But remember, I do still have the gym, and that is basically what this video is about. A bit of an interest with that. I've been getting a couple of sort of messages and stuff like that with questions about the gym, and I suppose I haven't really spoke about it too much, which I think I need to really, so people have an idea of how things are going for me. So I'm going to sort of split down into different sections. Basically, it's talking about, I've been open 3 months now, so I'm going to talk about the progression of it, you know, how I've dealt with it, what's happened, what's doing well, I suppose, my future plans for the gym, and just trying to give you a few ideas and a few sort of pointers, I suppose, because people are quite curious, especially when it comes to, say, sort of finances, money, how, you know, money's like the big question for a lot of people. You know, how much is it going to cost? What do you charge and all this sort of malarkey? How do you figure it out? And that's what I'm going to kind of go through for today. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. If you're not, go take a dump, because it's going to be about a 10-minute long video. Make it a good dump. So guys, first and foremost, how is the gym doing? What is it doing? How is it? Where is it? We don't know. So basically, guys, the gym itself, after 3 months in, so it's not very long, is actually going pretty well. And to be honest, I am really quite over the moon with how it's going. And it's great to see, like, you know, the faces that come here, the results that I'm getting so far, which is awesome. I've had some really, really good results with clients at the moment, which for me is a massive, massive thing. To see people's faces when you obviously take the results towards like the end of the 4-8 weeks, stuff like that, is like, it is a good feeling. And obviously that's kind of why I'm in this sort of game, because trying to help people out is a big part. You know, I think it's awesome to see sort of that relief and sort of happiness. So realistically, guys, what I'm going to suppose start with, obviously, how is it going? What's popular? For now, I suppose, for me, personal training is picking up quite well, so I'm really happy with how that's going. My client base is picking up quite nicely. I did actually have a target goal where I said by, say, Christmas, I want to be at this number of clients, and I've actually managed to hit that. It was about 2 weeks ago I actually managed to hit that number. So it's picked up reasonably fast for me, which I think is, you know, awesome. I'm mega happy because I have kind of plunked myself in the middle of nowhere when no one actually knows me. It's so I've sort of come into a little village where, say, Emma lives, and I'm from Devizes, which is a little bit down the road. I don't know too many people down here, so it sort of chucked me in at the deep end, but hopefully it's sort of paying off. And realistically, the PT obviously can be a bit expensive for some people, so what I've noticed as well that works well is obviously the classes. The classes are a very good spot to hit if you can. So anyone out there, say, you don't have to have a gym for this. You could be a personal trainer if you wanted to, and just do it as a class setup. But classes are very, very good because it's more affordable for your clients, and, you know, I suppose a lot more people are sort of happy to do it and come along to it, and it's very enjoyable as well. Don't get me wrong, quickest results come through PT. That is like personal training, that's just a guarantee. Obviously when you start chucking in the diet, the training, all that sort of stuff, but class is a very, very good sort of social aspect, community aspect to the business, which I absolutely love. So that seems to be going well. So they're kind of the two things, obviously, that is my main focus to begin with. But moving on from that, the actual progression of the gym, I suppose, where is it I'm looking to take it? What's going to happen with the gym? That's the question, like a big question, and you've always got to have those sort of visions, I suppose. I've been told I'm absolutely nuts, and I like to think a little bit too high most of the time. I like to set ridiculous goals, but for me personally, if I don't, then it doesn't feel like I'm pushing hard enough. So for anyone out there who's like me, aim high and just keep grafting your ass off until you sort of get halfway near it. So it's the way it sort of works for me. So obviously, a year ago I said I wanted a gym, well, I wanted a studio, not even necessarily a gym, and now I've managed to grasp this and, you know, embrace it and sort of push it to where I am now, and I'm still making these goals. A big thing that I think everyone should do, whether it be life, whether it be business, you know, I don't know, literally anything. Set goals, guys. Literally, if you have to, write it in a book, or literally just store it in your head. Just say, right, that's where I want to be by this time. I want this amount of people. I want this in my bank. I want that. I want this. You know, I want to be it this way. It literally set goals, and it gives you something to work towards. Just make them, I suppose, achievable. Don't sort of say, you know, I'm going to be like the world's richest bloke in a year's time by selling freaking Cheetos or Wheatos or wheat fucking Mix, I don't know, something like that. You've got to kind of be realistic, but also ambitious. So try and find the balance of the two, and it works quite well. I mean, it's sort of going for where you want to be, push hard, aim high, and it should come into play quite nicely. So for me, my progression, you know, I said each month, I wanted to say I wanted this in my account by the end of the month, so I know where I'm sort of standing, make sure I pay all my bills, etc. And each month so far, I've managed to hit it, which is, you know, awesome for me. Makes me mega happy. And then coming into the future, that's the way I'm going to keep rolling it, month by month. Just take it, you know, take it as it comes, and then set bigger pictures for the future as well. So to help, I suppose, expand on that for me is obviously keeping pushing the classes. I'm actually getting yoga involved, so getting another instructor in to do yoga, and I'm also getting in a fob access system, which is going to be, say, 24/7 kind of scheme. To say 24/7, it's because it's 7 days a week, but it's going to be, say, on restricted kind of times. It's not stupid o'clock in the evening at like 2 in the morning. Someone's had a few jolly gins and they think that they're, you know, Eddie Hall smashing out a 400 kg deadlift and then absolutely prolapsing all over my deadlift platform, because I do not want to come in on Monday morning with half a kidney, half an intestine and a lump of crap next to it, because someone's tried to be silly on that one. So, you know, you've got to be clever, you've got to look out for yourself. At the end of the day, guys, it's your livelihood, so you've got to really sort of push your passion into it. Without trying to bore you too much, I suppose that's the progression, that's what I'm looking into in the future, and that, you know, hopefully combined should work pretty well. And I suppose the biggest other points, like I said, money is the big one. A lot of people are curious about finances. How much does it cost to set up a gym? The amount of times I've been asked that is unreal, and it is a very, very good question. Realistically, it's hard to put a figure on it. It depends what you want. It depends what you're aiming for. For me, mine's a very private, sort of exclusive style gym. So obviously, you're not pumping in 100 grand's worth of kit into it because you don't need to. You're putting in good quality kit, but you haven't got 10 treadmills, you haven't got 10 squat racks. It's very sort of unique. So the thing is, that keeps your finances down slightly. But if you are looking into a massive sort of gym, except it's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money. The more kit you want, the more it's going to cost. So you've got to put some planning into it. Write it down, get an idea of how much you want to spend, and then basically how you're going to afford it, pretty much. And another good question when it comes to finances, money and stuff, obviously setting up your prices and all that good stuff. How do you figure it out? What's the best way to sort of know what to charge, you know, and stuff like that? Realistically, best way to do it for me is you just put in some research. Literally, put in your research, look at what area you're in, look at the average sort of price range of what you're in. I mean, you don't want to be going into, say, Chelsea and charging, you know, £10 an hour for PT, because people out there are charging a hell of a lot more. But then you don't want to come into, I don't know, like a small little town somewhere and then sort of try and charge 100 quid an hour, because it's not going to happen. You've got to be quite, you've got to be clever. You've got to look at, say, the average prices, and, you know, then assess yourself and think, am I worth that? Don't ever undervalue yourself. That's a big thing I've been told. If you go in and think, right, someone's charging, say, 30 quid an hour, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll chuck it at 20 so it's cheaper. That can actually come across quite bad, because a lot of people might look at it and think, why is he so much cheaper? And then they might start questioning it, which, you know, you obviously you don't want to do. So see what you've managed to achieve. If you've got results, push the results to people, show that you can do your job right, and stuff like that. And then obviously in time, it does take time with everything. You've got to start at the bottom and work your way up. At first, if you're starting straight out, yeah, you're gonna have to charge less. You ain't gonna be able to jump in and charge a fortune, because at the end of the day, you haven't got to that point to say that you're say worth that much as such. But if you push that a little bit more, keep progressing, and that's the way that you can then start to put it up. And it's the same with classes. Just look at the average prices, guys, and that will come to help. I'm not going to bore you too much because it's coming into the 10-minute marker, but basically, overall, for the video, is research. Just put some thought into it. Realistically, I suppose I didn't actually have anyone to ask, you know, how much it costs, what do you charge, you know, all this sort of stuff. It's something you learn as you go along. You put in the research to your area and stuff like that, and you will learn, guys. Whoever's out there doing something similar to this, or whether it's another style of business, you learn as you go along. I haven't done any business courses. I haven't done anything related to business. I've just kind of just jumped in and took it, you know, a rocket up the ass and sort of trying to go where I can go. So thanks again, guys. I'm going to round this video up because the battery's actually running out. And, you know, keep tuned. I'm going to keep videos pumping, marines, fitness, shredding for the summer, holiday and stuff like this. But all in all, things are going good. And thanks everyone for following me. TillyJ93 on Instagram if you want to check that out. J.Tilly93 on Snapchat if you want to check that out, because the holiday's coming soon and I'm going to be tanning up and eating burgers and shit. See you later.